right. Let us see what we got here. What we're going to do today is confidence interval for paired data, all right? And actually, we're going to expand on this, not just confidence interval, but actually a confidence one sample t-test for the mean difference given some different data. All right, and so when you're doing this, it's very, very similar to as you do everything else, all right, is that instead of having a two-sample t-test for the difference in means, we're going to do a one-sample t-test for the mean difference. The mean difference is, well, you really have to know the differences, play on words, all right, between how do you determine if it's a one-sample, all right, or if it's a two-sample. Well, the key thing is this. Do you got a matched pair design? All right. So if you have a matched pair design, if you're familiar with that from when you probably looked at some different experiments where you're doing some different blocking experiments, all right, back in earlier chapters, is that when you have a matched pair, what you want to do is you want to subtract, then average, okay? So essentially you get one mean. And therefore, you just have one sample, right? Because you're one sample because you're using the same people for the matched pair design. Now, for a two sample, is that you have two groups, okay, two groups, and then therefore you have two means, and then you're going to average, then subtract, okay, average, then subtract. And so what you have is really mean of 1 minus the mean of 2, and here you're taking the difference, and so that's why you just have 1, and it's going to be the difference in the two means that you find here. So that's why it's one sample. So to help us out with this, what we're going to do is we're going to go through some examples of how to identify this, because once you identify it, going through the steps is pretty much the same thing as any other t-test, z-test, or whatever you have for the difference of means, except we're just going to use for one sample. So let's just take this out. Let's check some different ones. So in each of the following settings, describe whether you should use two sample t procedures to perform an inference about a difference in means, or a paired t procedure to perform an inference about a mean difference. Explain your choice. So we're going to check this out. So if you want to go through, you can do this on your own, and then you can figure out the answers in just a little bit, and I'll talk it through. All right, so ready, go, and you can pause it now, and we're back. All right, so before exiting the water, scuba divers remove their fins. A marker of scuba equipment advertises a new style of fin that is supposed to be faster to remove. A customer advocacy group suspects that the time to remove the new fins may be no different than the time required to remove the old fins on average, okay? So 20 experimental screwdrivers are recruited to test the new fins. Each diver flips a coin to determine if they wear the new fin on the left foot and the old fin on the right foot, or vice versa. The time to remove each type of fin is recorded for every diver. Okay, so because they're recorded for every diver, all right, and you have those right there, this appears to be a matched pair design, okay? All right, a matched pair design experiment. Now, because it's a matched paired, all right, design experiment, that means we're probably going to take the time, all right, that we have, and the time for the old fin, and then the time for the new fin. And we'll probably take the difference between those, okay? The difference between each one of those. And therefore, what we're going to get a mean difference in the time it takes to get out from the old fin to the new fin, all right? And because it's matched pair, we're going to use what we were going to say as a one sample, okay? All right, a one sample, all right, t-test for, all right, mean differences. And that's what we're going to have there. Does that make sense? So that's the reason why, because we have a matched pair, all right, using the same scuba divers, and we're going to take the mean difference between those. All right, let's check out some other ones, shall we? Yeah, let's do that. All right, so these, you can try it out. All right, pause it now. And we're back. All right, so to study the health of aquatic life, scientists gathered a random sample of 60 white piranha fish from a Amazon river during 1 year. The average length of these fish was compared to the random sample of 82 white piranha fish from the same arbitrary a decade ago. All right. Well, this is definitely not matched pair. We are actually taking the difference, and we want to figure out. We're going to compare these 60 with these 82 from the decade ago. So what we're actually doing is taking this one sample, all right, of this first one or before, Okay, so this new sample of n equaling 60, and then we're taking another sample of this n equaling 82, and we're comparing, all right, we're going to compare them so we can actually maybe subtract that from one from the other, whatever the case may be. So this appears to be, all right, a one sample, or sorry, actually a two sample, all right, a two sample t-test for the difference, all right, in means. Okay, difference in means. And this in the case we're going to find, yeah, so we're going to say fish from the, all right, from the average lengths. So from their average lengths, because we're taking two different samples, run from the old, all right, or new, all right, and the difference between the old. Okay, so difference between two different distinct samples. Let's try part C. All right. Can a wetsuit deter shark attacks? Well, I think it can. Our researcher has designed a new wetsuit with color variations with suspects to deter shark attacks. To test this idea, she fills two identical drums with bait and covers one in the standard black wetsuit and the other in a new suit. Okay. Over a period of 1 week, she selects 16 2-hour periods and randomly assigns 8 of them to the drum in the black suit, and the other 8 are assigned to the drum with the new suit. During each time period, the appropriate drum is submerged in water that sharks frequent, and the number of times a shark bites the drum is recorded. Okay, and so when we're looking at this one, what we have is we are going to be testing several different time periods. So training are randomly assigned 8 of them to the drums in black suit. Then the other 8 are assigned to the drums with the new suit. All right, during each time period, the appropriate drum is submerged in the water. The sharks frequent there. So really what we're doing is we're comparing two different drums. All right, different drums at different times. All right, two sets of different drums. So we have 8 and 8, so two different sets. All right, and drums at different time intervals. Okay. Well, that does not appear to be a matched pair, so we're probably going to say this is going to be a 2 sample, okay, t-test, all right, for the difference in means. And the means we're looking at how many the frequency of shark bites that we have there, okay? And so as you can see going through here, really it's a 2 sample when we have 2 samples, but in our previous one, when we just have 1 sample and we're comparing the mean difference, all right, between 2 different divers, or between two different actions from the same pair, all right, that's what we have, a 1 sample t-test for the difference in means. Well, I hope this helps you out in understanding how to compare a 1 sample, 2 sample when we're finding the differences, whether it's going to be the mean difference for a match pair or the difference in means when you're talking about 2 samples in either case. All right, I hope this helps you out, and good luck on busting the rest of your problems.